A few days ago, I dropped my Big Ten Power Rankings video, and now I'm about to do my SEC one. And it's a very deep conference. They should be one of the best conferences in college football, just like they always are. But now it's been speculated that they aren't the best conference in college football because the Big Ten has the last three national champions. And I'm going to discuss if I think an SEC team is going to win the NCAA CFP championship here. So we are going to start with number 16, which is unsurprisingly, the Arkansas Razorbacks. It was a pretty rough year for them, 2-10 and 0-8 in SEC play, a loss in non-conference to Memphis, and so be it that they now have the Memphis football coach Ryan Silverfield. And I am not a fan of this hire. They could end up being like a top 60 team, top 50 maybe in terms of talent, but their record I do not expect to be very good this season. And the Silverfield hire, yeah, I don't really like it because last season, I feel like their success at Memphis had been capped. Like it had reached a highest point where they're not really going to have any more success than that. They weren't ever going to really make the college football playoffs. And with the way the season ended, he might have been closer to the hot seat than getting a big promotion like that. And I feel like his success was more just because Mike Norvell had been there before and brought them up. He brought a bunch of Memphis guys with him to Arkansas. And I just don't think Arkansas is with the right head coach right now. And it might be a bit before they could find some real SEC success with how deep it is. Number 15 is the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, this is a team that I like to be maybe a top 45 team in all of college football, but they could have a very rough record because the SEC is just that scary. Will Stein, the offensive coordinator from Oregon, comes in, and they have CJ Baxter, the running back transfer from Texas. I think Kentucky can maybe pick off a team. I have them beating LSU in their schedule. They won't go 2-10. I don't think they'll go winless. It's probably a good chance that they go 4-8. I just don't feel confident enough about that, about who they would knock off. But Kentucky is a team that should be going forward. Like Mark Stoops was holding them back. Now they have a better coach. They should be able to find that and get some more success and more bowl appearances in the near future. Number 14, I have Mississippi State. And last season, they went 5-7, no, 5-8 technically after the bowl game loss, but they were a good team. They just couldn't finish games. And it's crazy. They went 1-7 in the SEC and they were still very close to making a bowl game. And they are going to have to win tougher games this season. Like they had an upset against Arizona State. But other than that, I don't really think they had a good win. Arkansas was trash last season, and that was their only SEC win. So Mississippi State is going to need to do a little better under Jeff Lebby here. They are going to need to work harder, and right now I don't see that happening. Still, it's a deep SEC league, and in like the ACC, they could definitely be a bowl game team. They could definitely be a contender amongst the rest of the conference, but they're not, and the SEC is just that good, and it is going to be very difficult for them to get wins. Number 13 is the South Carolina Gamecocks. Last season, there were very, very high expectations for them, and they could not deliver. They were 4-8, 1-7 in SEC play. It was a season to forget, but thank for them. They have a fresh start at, oh no, you have Lenora Sellers coming back. And Shane Beamer, as a coach, has been up and down, and it's just been inconsistent. Like, are they a good team? Are they not? They were number 11 at one point in the season until they got crushed by Vanderbilt. Still, the SEC is very good, and I have them missing a bowl game, and I think this could be it for Shane Beamer because South Carolina has adjusted to some new expectations. Nick Harbor, a great wide receiver, maybe they could pick somebody off and be a surprise team, but for now, I don't think they're going to be in a bowl game. Number 12 for me is the Vanderbilt Commodores, who were 10-3 last season, but I just don't see that Jared Curtis, the five-star freshman, will be very good for them. And it's just the SEC is really good, and I've said that so many times, but it's very deep. It's probably the deepest league in football. And I think they can go 6-6 with this roster still. They have Cedric Alexander and Junior Sherrill coming back. Maybe they'll go 7-5 and get some big wins. But this season is not about going to the college football playoff for them. It's more about getting Jared Curtis more experience and some more big games and snaps and just stuff like that for when in the future he will be more ready for those big games. Number 11 is the Tennessee Volunteers. They are 6-6 this season, and they also had a really good quarterback recruit coming in. Josh Heupel really elevated this program, and last season was a year where they didn't really get any big wins, and that was the thing that was holding them back. But this year, I think, is supposed to be more of like that Hendon Hooker year right before they had the top 10 season. So they should be a team that can get some SEC wins. I have them going 6-6. They've got to play Georgia Tech in the non-conference. That should be a tough one. Alberto Mendoza for them coming in at quarterback, the brother of the first overall pick in the NFL, Fernando Mendoza. That would be a big one for them, and to give them a boost to win that game and then get a better season, get more stuff going on for them. But I think they will lose that one because that's just my prediction. And then if things can fall down and they could end up going 6-6 or something like that. Number 10, I have the Florida Gators, and this is a 7-5 team that I have at number 10 in the SEC. And this might be too low, but I feel like Florida is overrated most of the time. Like they're very hyped, and then they turn out to be some team that doesn't really make much noise, like especially last season. They were number 13 in the country, and they lost to USF, which USF was a good team, and they're one of my top mid-majors that will be coming when I do my American Conference power rankings. But Florida now has a good coach. They have a coach that has won places. He won at Troy. He won the Sun Belt with them. He won at Tulane, got them to the college football playoff. And I feel like it's very trusted. And he said in an interview that he's not changing and that he is the same coach and that the SEC is not too big of a spotlight for them. So they could be like an 8-4 team. They have a quarterback battle going on right now. Florida's a team I'm more excited about than last season. And with Billy Napier, that John Summerall should be the future for them. Number 9, I have Missouri. Missouri is pretty unlucky last season, went 8-5 with a loss in the bowl game, but I have them going 8-4 this year, 5-4 in the SEC, and the non-conference, they should get it done. Kansas, that's a rival game, and Missouri with Austin Simmons at quarterback, who didn't really get a chance to shine at Ole Miss. We thought he was definitely going to be the future for them until Trinidad Chambliss showed up and ended up becoming a monster. So Austin Simmons will finally get his chance. Another Missouri backup that they're going to be taking in, and they really did a good job with Bo Prabula, and they should be able to do that with their new guy from Ole Miss, Austin Simmons. And Eli Drinkwitz has made Missouri into one of the top SEC contenders that is ranked very often, and you can trust that they are going to be in a bowl game and stuff like that. Missouri is in a good spot right now. Number 8, I have Auburn, and I don't think this is too high. I am very high on Auburn, and I have a couple teams ahead of them that have the same exact record in conference play as they do. So Auburn, I really like what's going on right there. They have Alex Golesh as the head coach, who came from South Florida, really transformed them from 1-11 and in a few years got them to like a 9-win team, I think. They were very, very changed when he was there, and he brought his quarterback with him, Byron Brown, who was very, very good there. So Auburn, I trust them to make some noise, and I am a believer in them, and he is a lot different than Brian Harsin and Hugh Freeze. I think he brings a firepower to their team that should elevate them into an SEC contender and a top 25 team. This one might be my hottest take of the whole video. I have Alabama at number 7, and I think things are not trending up for them. I think they're trending down with Kalen DeBoer. Last season, I don't think they should have made the college football playoff. That's an argument for another day, but they just weren't that good of a team. Like after the midseason, after the Tennessee game, every game after that was kind of like rough. There wasn't any like, yes, this was certainly a good game. Like that Oklahoma game, they went down 17-0. They did fight back and win by 10, but they were not that good. And I don't think that they just keep losing people, and their name is not as relevant as it used to be. And we're finally starting to see how much Nick Saban did for this team. And Kalen DeBoer's a great coach, but I don't see it right now. Austin Mack got some experience in the Rose Bowl against Indiana. He did okay, but I believe that this season is going to be very, very big to see how Alabama can do against the SEC without Nick Saban and without the other players. Like, I think that it's going in a rough direction and that they are certainly very, very far from where they used to be. At number 6, I have LSU, and this might be a little low, but I also have them going 8-4. I think there's a good chance that they get upset at some point during this season, and it's also just kind of because I think I have this gut feeling that LSU will do poorly. They have a bunch of raw talent. Sam Levitt's a great leader, but it seemed pretty weird last year when he was just resting and everyone just knew he was going to the portal, and he basically kind of gave up on his team. That part was pretty weird. But the defense, I think, should be a big part of this team. With Weeks is coming back, I just don't know how this team is going to play together, and that is why I have them going 8-4. But on paper, this team should be like a top 10 team and one of the best teams in the entire country, a national championship favorite and contender. At number 5, I have Texas A&M, and last season could have been insane for them. They were 11-0 to start the season, but after a rough finish, they only finished 11-2. But still, only this was a great team last season. Just the inconsistency was a big problem, and that's why I don't have them in my top 4 for the SEC. Marcel Reed is coming back, and they added Alabama wide receiver transfer Isaiah Horton. I like Mike Elko as a coach. I didn't see the consistency last season, and hopefully for them that Marcel Reed's experience should boost them a little bit, but I have them going 9-3 and barely missing out on the college football playoff. At number 4, I have the Ole Miss Rebels. Some people are low on them because of Pete Golding, but I think he is an average coach. Do I think he would have gotten the job if Lane Kiffin didn't leave in the middle of the year? Probably not. But he was good for them, and he did what they needed him to do. They went to the college football playoff semifinals, upset Georgia, and they nearly beat Miami. A bunch of people thought that should have been a pass interference on the Hail Mary at the end. But they might have the best quarterback in the country, and they probably also have the best running back in the country with Trinidad Chambliss and Keywan Lacey. I don't even know why Trinidad Chambliss is playing in college, but looking at their team, I think the offense is great. The defense might be a little concerning, but you have a defensive coach in Pete Golding, so I think this team should get to be a contender, but overall I have them barely missing out on the CFP with a late loss in the season to Oklahoma. Speaking of Oklahoma, I have the Sooners at number 3 in the SEC. This could finally be the year for Brent Venables here in Norman, where they can get a real team that has a serious chance of winning the national championship. You have John Mateer coming back from his hand injury, and last season he was kind of hurt the whole season. That's why his second half wasn't as strong as his first half, but we remember how good he looked as a two-way player, dual threat. And Oklahoma, I expect to be a championship contender and an SEC contender team that could seriously win the SEC. And now it's down to Georgia and Texas. And at number 2, I have the Texas Longhorns. I don't get why so many people have put them at number 1 over Georgia. Georgia has proved that they should be the number 1 team, and it's not even close. But this part isn't about Georgia. This is about Texas. Arch Manning is coming back. They had a great finish to the season. After a 3-2 start, they finished with a 10-3 record. And a loss to Georgia on the road was the only thing keeping them out of the college football playoff. If they had not played Ohio State in their non-conference schedule, they probably would have been in the college football playoff. They took down Texas A&M. They beat Michigan in the bowl game. They were great last season. And they added star transfer wide receiver from Auburn, Cam Coleman, who was amazing for them, and he should be amazing for Texas. And Arch Manning should continue to grow as we saw him progress last season. It should be a great season for them, and they are one of the championship favorites, and some people have Texas as the number 1 team in the country. But at number 1, I have Georgia, and I don't think you can overthink this one. I think it just makes sense. You have Gunnar Stockton coming back. You have Lawson Lucky coming back. I believe Nate Frazier left. He might have came back. I don't remember. But overall, there's just a bunch of continuity. Kirby Smart has just been trustworthy, and in 2 down years, they've been the SEC champions. So I think that by this time, if they get a bye in the college football playoff, they will be able to figure it out. And Georgia is a team that I believe will be the best. I think they will win the national championship. Do I think they'll be ranked number 1 to end the season? No, I think that's going to be Notre Dame. But Georgia I have as my championship team. So that will be all for this episode of Result Report previewing the SEC. We will see and do updates around the season, like with how the records are going and the teams and maybe some midseason power rankings. But that is all. I'm Isaac, and thank you for watching. See you later.